And your other prison experiences?
Well, in Nicaragua, which was the first one, I was about 20 years old. I had been a hippie with the San Francisco hippies in the 60s. And then I hitchhiked and with a friend through Mexico and Central America. We didn't have money even to buy the visas, which would cost $5 or $10. So we went illegally in the countries. Nicaragua was under dictatorship of Somoza, and they saw us with a little beer, and we had no visas, so they thought we were revolutionaries. So they put us indefinitely in a prison. We didn't know whether we will ever get out or not. I thought I might die there.
And how did you get out?
Oh, if I tell you, you won't believe it. After about 2 months of being in this prison, very ancient, all 500 or 400-year-old building, Spanish colonial building, and there was a patio where every Sunday the prisoners who had visitors will go out to the patio, but we didn't have any visitors because we were foreigners. And I had no communication with anybody in my country.
Hold on 1 second, okay.
Well, is that okay? Anyways, after a few months I was in the prison, I was talking to some prisoners there. And I mentioned, I don't remember why, I mentioned the name of a friend that I thought he was from Colombia, who I met in a summer camp in Canada when I was probably about 14 years old. We had become very good friends, this guy from South America, Colombia, and myself in this summer camp. And I mentioned his name, and this prisoner told me, wow, but this is not Colombian man or boy. He's from here, from this country, Nicaragua. And actually his father, General Medal, was the second most powerful man in the country. So this prisoner, his mother had been a maid. So I wrote on a napkin a little note, and on Sunday his mother came to visit, and she was very kind to get my napkin and go to the General Medal villa and give it to him. So 3-4 days after that happened, they shouted "Mexicanos!" and me and my friend, the Mexicans, we were in a cell with foreigners, which means Cubans and some South American people. And this man, very important, full of medals, comes in the prison, and everybody saluting him. And he asked me, "Are you such and so?" I say, "Yeah." General Medal received your little note. Unfortunately, your friend, the General's son, is not at the moment in the country. He's studying engineering in Germany. So the General called him on the phone, and his son, your friend, he said, "Oh, is this Jaime? Oh, please treat him as if he was your own son." Those were the words that this guy gave. So this guy took us out, and from being in the prison, we were in this huge villa by the swimming pool, all servants around, a limo waiting for us whenever we wanted to visit the village or the town, all kinds of food, etc., etc. So that's the contrast that I have always experienced in my life. Like there is a saying in India that goes, the life of the yogi is one day feast, next day fast. That's been the story of my life. But anyways, after being there like a couple of weeks in the villa, we got bored of all this stupidity, and we said, let's go hitchhiking penniless again to the next country. So we left to Costa Rica. That's why I was in the prison there, and that's how I got out.
So how do you manage to make your way around from place to place as a penniless person?
Well, I have done it really only 2 times in my life. That was one. I was only 20. I turned 21 at that time, just hitchhiking. I always ate. I always had a good, different place to sleep, and I always ate. I never got sick. And another time was much later, around the age of close to 30, maybe 28. I was like a sadhu in India after training. I was just wearing a few long clothes. And of course I was in areas with that kind of tradition, in areas where the sadhus are fed and there are temples, so I had no problem. Otherwise I always had some money, and sometimes lots of money. As I said, one day fish, next day fast.
Why did you choose to be a sadhu?
Well, I went to this training in Benares, and part of the training was to become a sadhu for a month. But I found it so great, that kind of life. And I was experiencing so much that I just stayed as a sadhu for I think about 5 months. It was originally was not my choice. It was part of this training.
Did you have any particularly meaningful experiences during that time? And was your experience as a sadhu positive?
As a sadhu, I did not have 1 penny. I did not have 1 penny. But in India, as a sadhu in that area, Bengali first, and then I went to Rishikesh and all that area above Rishikesh. Well, that's a tradition. Society supports that kind of people who are dedicated to spiritual practices, and they are very, very happy to support them, because according to their beliefs, they receive lots of merits for supporting people who do this practice. So I have no problem at all.
What do you think coming to a place like this, all of this ceremonial activity in traditional Tibetan Buddhism and
well, all these ceremonies that Tibetan people do, all these practices of Tibetan and Tantra Buddhism, which are very powerful, is not something that I practice. As I said, my practices are very simple. I have tried these practices, not very much, but I have tried before. Dharamsala, I lived 5 years with Dalai Lama. But I feel much more comfortable with practices.
Hold on 1 second. Eric, your hand is creating a shadow on his face. Okay.
I feel much more comfortable.
1 second. Eric, give us a cigarette. Could you light one for me? Thank you.
Continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel much more comfortable with practices which are not so...
Meetra, try and stay in the light. You're in the shadow here. Oh, okay. It was just his shadow, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anyway.
Which practices which are not so extroverted, like ceremonies and prayers and deities outside. My practice is mostly inside. It's transformation or purification of my mind.
So what's the purported goal and meaning of the ceremonial practices then, and why are they effective?
Well, the ceremonial practices and deity worship and mantras and all those things are very, very powerful, because you are using tools which are sensible, which come in the realm of the 5 senses, and also they have a very deep meanings. And if you dedicate yourself to those practices, well, you get the energy that those practices are supposed to give you, and the enlightenment and the wisdom, etc. But at the end, you have to discard all these ceremonies and go to the emptiness of phenomena. This is really the goal of all those practices anyways. But in my case, I go directly to the emptiness and I have no problem to do that. So why start getting exterior things which have as a goal to go to the emptiness at the end? There's no reason why I should go back to that.
Can you describe your experience of the different stages of meditation, the different kinds of states of consciousness, the different steps in the meditative path?
Those things are very difficult to explain, and also there are so many. It's infinite, the number of experiences you can say. So and even if you attempt to explain them, many of those experiences is absolutely impossible to understand or even to be capable of explaining. But basically what it is infinite vastness of beauty that is within our minds and capacity. The only thing we need is to dedicate ourselves to dig into those immense treasures that we are carrying. But really very difficult to describe those experiences. Many of them. Some of them, yeah, you can describe maybe, okay, incredible joy, so much peace. Your mind can become, I will try to explain a little bit. For example, my mind, when I was in that deep cave, I was 3 or 4 days already in an extremely deep state of consciousness. You experience different, much more profound realities or dimensions. And I am sitting there, and then a thought comes to my mind. It was the 9th of May, and I said, what was I doing exactly 1 year ago, the 9th of May, at this time, 2 p.m. And immediately your mind is so clear after this practice, during this retreat, that like a movie, it came exactly what I was doing. I was sitting with my family, and I was seeing more than what I experienced 1 year before, because I was seeing vibrations and many things. And then after that, I said, wow. Well, what was happening exactly 2 years at the same time, the same day? And again, another movie, and it went like that. So this is just, and you can go back. And I stopped after when I was probably 12 years old. But I thought later on that I could have gone back and maybe back to past lives. I didn't. But anyway, that's just I would say the superficial description of all the immense possibilities and experiences that we can have with these practices.
Do you believe in the reality of past lives? Do you believe that this is a reality?
I don't believe in believing. You know, belief is always some kind of doubt.
Well, do you have any experience of
something? Yes, I don't have a direct experience that I remember past lives exactly. I don't. But many tendencies that I have, many things are kind of indications, very obvious that I had many past lives. I don't have doubt, and on the one hand. On the other hand, it's irrelevant. I don't really think it's so important whether you believe or you don't believe that. In our Western society, we give a lot of importance about what we believe, and most of religions are based on belief or dogmas. But in this case, Buddhist teaching is not based on belief. It's a practice. It's a practice that you do and you experience the result of that practice. That's why it was called since the Buddha's time. This is the practice of the religion of come and see. Don't believe nothing. Just come, do it, and then you will see the results.
Well, in all of your, in the many years that you've studied in, many years that you've studied and practiced, and have tested for yourself, if you could distill what you've learned to some advice that you would give an aspiring meditator or practitioner about the path, what would that be?
I think what I would say is just do it. Whatever you are doing, just keep on doing it. Go deep. Don't be superficial. Just truth. And whenever you feel in your heart that you should do something else, do something else. And if you don't feel that, and you are very comfortable to whatever you're practicing, and you want to keep on, just go deeper. Just don't stop. Practice is very important in this stuff. Continuous, if possible, day and night.
So when you say don't really have any kinds of desires or expectations or fears, but you're happy, do you feel any difference between being happy and being sad, or does it matter to you if you're unfulfilled or feeling disappointed or feeling gratified? Is happiness and sorrow something that is of any relevance or significance to you?
Well, it's a little bit subtle and difficult to explain what this is. But basically, what it is that you lose identification. In other words, you don't consider yourself to be somebody who is happy or who is sad, who is poor, who is rich, old, young. All this identification with our minds and our bodies and our feelings and our emotions that is the ordinary way of a human being, that starts to break. So even if you feel some kind of, definitely, you might feel pain if you hit a rock or if you have an accident, but even those things are not the same kind of pain that you will feel it if you didn't have this practice, because everything is transforming in an amazing, I would call it magical way, and even if you have certain, once in a while you might have physical pain or sickness or something, you even use those experiences for your practice. It's like your food for you. This practice of Buddhism is all comprehensive. Even your defilements, even your greed, whatever you can use as food for your practice.
Well, so why are you in Kathmandu? I mean, why not just continue meditating in solitude in a hermitage or a cell or a cave?
Well, the immediate reason why I am in Kathmandu is a little bit accidental, like most of things in my life. I was in Venezuela about 1 year ago, a little more than a year ago, with Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche, and then I have a daughter in Japan, so we decided to spend holidays in Mexico, my daughter's vacation. So I go to Mexico, and my daughter has an accident in the eye just a few days before she goes out of vacation. So since she couldn't come to Mexico, well, I went to see her in Japan. And since I was in Japan, well, I don't want to go to Asia and just come right back to America. American continent. I was thinking of living in Argentina after Venezuela. Just come to Mexico, see my daughter, and go to Argentina. But then I said, now I am in Japan, so I decided to come to Thailand and Nepal. So it's a little bit like an accident, but I am very, very happy here. And now that I am here, I don't feel like going to Argentina. So, worldly speaking, in the world, I play it by ear, I would say. I don't have fixed plans. I do things according to circumstances, according to visas many times, or this or that, But inside, I have a very strong, precise direction that I see my life unfolding. But outside, it might change my plans or my things according to the circumstances outside, which are always changing. The political situation, the economical situation, my health, my body, so many things.
Well, what is the direction that you say you have interiorly?
The direction is this practice, which is basically the what in the Theravada tradition is called the path of purification, just purification from defilements. That is the very clearly I see how it's unfolding, and at this point, it's not possible to do something else. This is what I am. This is my life, and this is me. So I have no choice.
Do you consider yourself purified?
No, I am very far from being purified. But I have the absolutely great joy of being totally established in the path of purification.
How does that feel?
Well, I think I answered that before, no? I just feel, basically in a few words, I will say it's peace. But of course, I would have to explain what I mean by peace. Peace means that you have no anxieties, no desires for the future. You just live in the present, very content. And everything that comes to me is a blessing, is a gift, continuous gift, morning, night, in any country, in any circumstances. Basically, that's what it is, peace or contentment.
Well, how do you remain content in the face of adversity and difficulty on the path?
But I don't see adversity. The adversity and difficulty are to be overcome. So I actually don't see adversity and difficulty. Adversity and difficulties are part of the path. Are actually helpers, because as I was saying, sometimes in the prison my practice is much stronger precisely because of all these adverse circumstances. So anything that happens, no matter what, is a gift. It's free. Like I met this guy in the desert in Mexico, very wise, illiterate person. And he said, well, I was born naked. Everything I got on is extra, This kind of feeling, everything, whatever happens to you, whether it's suffering or you lose a lover or you lose your money, anything is a gift from existence. It's an opportunity to be in this situation and learn from it and grow from it.
Well, sometimes when you're in a situation where you have lost something that's very valuable to you, it's very difficult to perceive that situation as being any kind of a gift.
As being what?
As being a gift, because it can be really existentially disruptive.
But John Allen, that never happens to me. that I lose something that is so precious that I feel so, because what I have, the only thing that I have really that is absolutely precious and valuable for me is Dharma. And I don't think I will lose that ever. Because anything else that I lose or win,
Yeah. Well, I'm just, I'm just filming.
okay.
We don't have to stop or anything. We just need to try and find Eric.
So we go to the restaurant now?
Yeah, we gotta find Eric though.
Oh, yeah.
Would you consider yourself a teacher?
Well, to tell you the truth, yes. And the reason, I renounced teaching formally many times. But the reason is that wherever I go, any place where I go, any environment, very soon I arrive there, I have people around learning things from me. That is a reality. So yes, I would say I consider myself a teacher. Mm-hmm. But I don't teach directly, I just my life experience is the teaching.
And what are people learning from you?
All kinds of things, all levels. But basically always inclined to meditation, to spiritual life. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise I don't bother talking to people who are not interested in that. Yeah. I am personally not interested in any culture, in any family, in any problems of any people, because they are all the same all over the world. It's just worldly things. But if I find somebody who's interested in this life, in this practice of transcendence, then I am very happy to share whatever I can.
Okay.
Like for example, with this light, it will be impossible to film with all kinds of film. This is what digital is amazing.
Right. Well, you can see that it's not.
It's just as amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let's go to the restaurant.
It's rich.
A great opportunity for you to do a dance. Good, nice little bhajan. That's a sectarian. What? That's a sectarian.
Yeah.
Namaste.
A little bit.